Commander Jack Ridley stared out the viewport of the relentless curiosity, his expression a perfect blend of boredom and existential dread. 18 years of deep space exploration had left him with two certainties: the universe was vast beyond comprehension, and it was determined to kill you in increasingly creative ways. "Commander, I'm detecting anomalous energy readings from the derelict vessel," announced VIKI, the ship's AI. Her voice had been programmed with just enough personality to be helpful without being annoying. The ship's previous AI had been programmed with so much personality that Jack had to jettison it out an airlock after it developed an unhealthy obsession with karaoke nights. "Define anomalous," Jack replied, not bothering to look up from his coffee. In space, coffee was basically liquid religion. "Well, it's either a quantum fluctuation in the fabric of space-time or someone left their toaster on for about 8,000 years, VIKI replied. "Either way, it's not in my database." Jack sighed, set down his coffee, and finally turned to face the holographic display. The derelict ship hung in space like a massive metal carcass, its hull scarred with what appeared to be weapons fire. It was enormous, easily 20 times the size of his exploratory vessel, and absolutely ancient. "Any idea who built this thing?" he asked, stroking the stubble on his chin. "Based on the architectural patterns and material composition, I'd say it belongs to the Krelvarians," VIKI answered. "A species that went extinct approximately 12,000 years ago. Their civilization spanned 3 galaxies before mysteriously vanishing." "Mysterious vanishing, huh? That's original," Jack muttered. "Anything else?" "Yes. The ship appears to have been deliberately abandoned rather than destroyed in combat. And there's something else, the energy signature I'm detecting. It's coming from what appears to be a warning beacon." Jack raised an eyebrow. "A warning beacon that's been active for 12,000 years. That's one hell of a warranty." "Indeed. The Krelvarians were known for their engineering prowess. Would you like me to attempt to decode the message?" Jack drained the last of his coffee. "Why not? It's not like we have anything better to do out here in the ass end of nowhere." VIKI's holographic form flickered as she processed the alien data. "Interesting. The message is being broadcast in over 3,000 different languages, including several Earth languages. It appears they wanted to ensure it would be understood by anyone who found it." "And what does it say?" Jack asked, suddenly more intrigued. VIKI's expression shifted to something approximating concern. "It says, and I quote, 'Beware the blue world called Earth. It only pretends to sleep.'" Jack blinked. "That's it? That's the message? 12,000 years of broadcasting and that's all they had to say?" "There's more data attached," VIKI continued. "Coordinates, historical records, and what appears to be evidence." Jack leaned forward, his interest genuinely piqued for the first time in months. "Evidence of what?" "Evidence that Earth is," VIKI paused, as if having trouble processing the information, "sentient." Jack stared at the holographic display, then at the derelict ship, then back at his empty coffee mug. "I'm going to need more coffee for this. A lot more coffee." As Jack floated toward the galley, VIKI's voice followed him. "Commander, there's something else. This isn't the first warning beacon we've found, is it?" Jack froze mid-float. "What do you mean?" "I've been analyzing our mission logs. In the past 5 years we've encountered similar warnings from the Zontari, the Pleiades Consortium, and the Quantum Hive. All extinct civilizations, all leaving the same message about Earth." Jack turned slowly, his expression now deadly serious. "VIKI, set a course for the nearest Galactic Union outpost. I think we need to talk to Dr. Eliza Morgan." "The xenoarchaeologist with the infamous temper?" VIKI asked. "The very same," Jack confirmed. "If anyone can make sense of multiple extinct civilizations warning about Earth, it's her." "Setting course," VIKI confirmed. "Estimated arrival 38 hours. As the relentless curiosity changed direction, Jack couldn't shake the feeling that they'd stumbled onto something bigger than they could possibly imagine. Behind them, the ancient Krelvarian ship continued its silent vigil, its warning beacon pulsing steadily into the void. Little did Jack know, this was just the beginning of a discovery that would change humanity's understanding of its place in the universe, and of Earth itself. "So let me get this straight," Dr. Eliza Morgan said, pacing across the cluttered confines of her office at the Galactic Union outpost. "You've found not one, not two, but 4 separate warnings from extinct civilizations, all saying the same thing about Earth." Jack nodded, watching the renowned xenoarchaeologist with amusement. Dr. Morgan had a reputation for brilliance, matched only by her capacity for colorful language. Her office was a monument to organized chaos, artifacts from 100 worlds crammed onto shelves, holographic displays, showing ancient texts, and no fewer than 7 coffee mugs in various states of fullness. Earth only pretends to sleep. Eliza repeated, testing the phrase like a strange food. And you think this is what? Some kind of cosmic joke? That's why we came to you, Jack replied. You're the expert on dead civilizations. I prefer temporally challenged species, thank you very much, she corrected with a wry smile. Less morbid on grant applications. VIKI's holographic form materialized between them. Dr. Morgan, we've compiled the data from all 4 warning beacons, the Krell-Varians, the Zontari, the Pleiades Consortium, and the Quantum Hive. All technologically advanced species that disappeared under mysterious circumstances, and all leaving the same cryptic warning about Earth. Jack added, bit of a coincidence, don't you think? Eliza snorted. In my experience, Commander, coincidences in space are about as common as ethical politicians. She moved to her primary display, and began scrolling through the data VIKI had transmitted. The oldest of these warnings dates back nearly 50,000 years. The most recent is the Krell-Varian one you found, at roughly 12,000 years old. That's a hell of a long time to be consistent about a warning. So you think there's something to it? Jack asked. I think, Eliza said slowly, that when 4 separate civilizations, spanning tens of thousands of years, all leave the same warning about a single planet, only an idiot would ignore it. She looked up at Jack, and despite that stupid flyboy grin of yours, you're not an idiot. Jack feigned offense. My grin is charming, not stupid. It can be both. VIKI chimed in helpfully. Eliza continued examining the data. The Quantum Hive warning includes what appears to be observational data, incidents where Earth should have been destroyed or severely damaged but somehow wasn't. Such as, Jack prompted. The dinosaur extinction event, Eliza replied. According to their calculations, the asteroid impact should have cracked the planet in half. Instead, it just wiped out the dinosaurs and left the planet intact. Maybe their calculations were wrong, Jack suggested. The Quantum Hive specialized in physics and astronomy, VIKI countered. Their mathematical models were generally accurate to within a 0.0001% margin of error. Then there's the solar flare of 774 CE, Eliza continued. Powerful enough to strip away Earth's atmosphere, it just didn't. The Zontari file specifically notes this as evidence of planetary self-preservation. Jack frowned. Are they suggesting Earth protected itself? That's exactly what they're suggesting, Eliza confirmed. And there's more, much more. The Pleiades Consortium documented over 300 statistically improbable survival events where Earth should have been sterilized but wasn't. That's unsettling, Jack admitted. It gets weirder, Eliza said, pulling up another file. The Krell-Varians actually sent a fleet to Earth, roughly 12,300 years ago. Their mission logs describe the awakening followed by planetary retaliation. The fleet was destroyed, and shortly after, the Krell-Varians abandoned their home systems and vanished. Jack exchanged a glance with VIKI. They attacked Earth and Earth fought back. That's the claim, Eliza confirmed. The question is, do we believe it? I don't know what to believe, Jack said honestly, but I know we need more information. Eliza nodded, her expression growing serious. I agree, and I think we need to go to Earth for that. Earth, Jack repeated. You want to go to the planet that supposedly destroyed an entire civilization. If Earth is as dangerous as these warnings suggest, don't you think we should confirm it? Eliza challenged. Besides, I've been studying extinct civilizations my entire career. This is the first time I've had the chance to prevent one from joining the list. Assuming these warnings are valid, VIKI cautioned. There's only one way to find out, Eliza said, already packing equipment into a duffel bag. Besides, I've always wanted to see Earth, birthplace of humanity and all that. You've never been? Jack asked, surprised. Too busy digging up the secrets of dead aliens, Eliza shrugged. Never got around to visiting the homeworld. Jack sighed, already knowing he was going to regret this. Fine, but if the planet wakes up and tries to eat us, I'm blaming you. Fair enough, Eliza grinned. VIKI, how long would it take us to reach Earth from here? Approximately 2 weeks at standard cruising speed, the AI replied. Perfect, Eliza declared. That gives me time to translate these additional warning fragments. There's something here about the conscious core and planetary dreaming that I want to understand better. As they prepared to depart, Jack couldn't shake the feeling that they were walking straight into danger. But curiosity, the same force that had driven him to explore the depths of space, was now pushing him toward Earth and its secrets. "Commander," VIKI said quietly, as they boarded the relentless Curiosity, "I've been analyzing the probability matrices for this mission, and," Jack prompted, "the odds of us returning alive are approximately 47.3%. Jack actually smiled at that. "Better than our last 3 missions, I'll take it." As the ship's engines hummed to life, Eliza looked up from her datapad. "You know what's really interesting? None of these warnings say Earth is malevolent. They just say it pretends to sleep." "And that's supposed to be comforting?" Jack asked. "Actually, yes," Eliza replied. "It means Earth might not be our enemy. It might be our protector. A protector that destroyed an entire alien civilization," Jack reminded her. "Only after they attacked first," Eliza countered. "Every dead race left one warning about Earth, but none of them mentioned what they did to provoke it." The ship lifted off, leaving the Galactic Union outpost behind. Ahead lay Earth, humanity's cradle and potentially, the solar system's oldest and most powerful sentient being. The relentless Curiosity entered Earth's solar system with the caution of someone poking a sleeping bear with a very long stick. Jack had insisted on approaching from the outer system, using Jupiter's massive gravity well to mask their arrival. "You realize we look incredibly suspicious right now," Eliza commented, watching the blue marble of Earth grow larger on the view screen. "Sneaking into our own home system, like we're planning a heist." "Better suspicious than dead," Jack replied. "VIKI, any unusual readings from Earth?" "Define unusual," the AI responded. "Earth has a molten core, active tectonics, a self-regulating atmosphere, and billions of humans doing human things. It's all unusual by cosmic standards." "You know what I mean," Jack said. "Any signs it's awake?" "None that I can detect. Earth appears to be behaving exactly as planetary physics would predict." Eliza leaned forward, studying the view screen. "It's beautiful. Hard to imagine it's harboring some kind of cosmic consciousness." "If it is," Jack said, "we need more information." "VIKI, set course for Mars colony. We need to talk to Gronk." "Gronk?" Eliza asked. "Who or what is a Gronk?" "Not who," Jack corrected. "What?" "Gronk is a Tellurian 4 arms. Exoskeleton, terrible sense of humor, but the best bartender in the solar system, and he's been collecting conspiracy theories about Earth for decades." "A conspiracy theorist bartender," Eliza deadpanned. "Sounds reliable. In my experience," Jack said with a grin. "The best information comes from the people nobody takes seriously." The Rusty Airlocks was exactly what its name suggested, a dive bar built into the side of an ancient Martian cliff face, with actual rusty airlocks serving as entrances. The interior was dimly lit, filled with the kind of people who preferred their faces hidden in shadow. Gronk spotted them the moment they entered, all 4 of his arms freezing mid-pour. "Commander Ridley," he chittered, mandibles clicking in what passed for a Tellurian smile. "I thought you'd died in the Vega Nebula." "Reports of my death have been greatly exaggerated," Jack replied, sliding onto a stool. "This is Dr. Eliza Morgan, xenoarchaeologist extraordinaire." Gronk's compound eyes swiveled to examine Eliza. "A scientist. In my bar, you must be desperate, Commander." "We need information," Jack confirmed. "About Earth." Gronk's chittering stopped abruptly. With 2 arms, he poured drinks for Jack and Eliza. With the other 2, he reached under the bar and activated a privacy field. The ambient noise of the bar faded to a soft hum. "What kind of information?" Gronk asked, suddenly serious. "We found warnings," Eliza explained. "From extinct civilizations. They all say the same thing. Earth only pretends to sleep." Gronk's mandibles clicked rapidly. Tellurian laughter. "Finally. Someone else who sees it." He scuttled around the bar and produced a battered data tablet. "I've been collecting incidents for 30 years. Things that don't make sense. Earth shouldn't be what it is." "What do you mean?" Jack asked. "Earth should be dead," Gronk declared. "Multiple times over. Take the Carrington event of 1859. Solar storm so powerful it should have fried every living thing on the planet. Instead, it just caused some pretty lights in the sky and disrupted telegraph systems." "Coincidence," Jack suggested. Once is coincidence, Gronk agreed. But look at the pattern. He pulled up a timeline on his tablet. 1859, solar storm. 1908, Tunguska event. Asteroid explodes before impact. 1962, Cuban Missile Crisis. Full-scale nuclear war averted by what historians call miraculous restraint. 2041, the Yellowstone caldera begins to destabilize, then mysteriously stabilizes again. Eliza leaned forward, her scientific skepticism warring with growing curiosity. Natural explanations exist for all of these. Sure, Gronk conceded. But probability says Earth should have been sterilized at least 15 times in the past 2 centuries alone. Instead, it's thriving. Gronk, Jack said carefully. If Earth is sentient, why hasn't it shown itself? Why pretend to sleep? The Tellurian's compound eyes glinted in the dim light. 2 theories. 1, it's protecting itself. Civilizations fear what they don't understand. 2, it's protecting humanity. From what? Eliza asked. From the truth, Gronk replied. How would humans react if they learned they're essentially parasites living on the back of a cosmic being? Jack's communicator chirped, and VIKI's voice emerged. Commander, I've been analyzing Earth's geological and atmospheric data from the past 500 million years. There are anomalies. Define anomalies, Jack requested. Moments where natural disasters should have escalated beyond recovery thresholds but didn't. Climate shifts that should have continued until the planet was uninhabitable but stabilized instead. It's as if something is maintaining Earth's habitability, despite cosmic and geological efforts to the contrary. Eliza frowned. VIKI, could this be confirmation bias? We're looking for evidence of sentience, so we're finding it. I considered that possibility, VIKI replied. To counter it, I ran simulations of 50,000 alternate Earths with identical starting conditions, but without assuming any form of planetary consciousness. In 99.87% of simulations, Earth became uninhabitable within 200 million years. Gronk's mandibles clicked in satisfaction. See, the numbers don't lie. Something is keeping Earth in balance. Jack drained his drink. So we have evidence suggesting Earth is sentient and actively maintaining its habitability. What we don't have is proof of consciousness or intent. There's one person who might help with that, Gronk said hesitantly. Captain Dex Tucker, Earth Defense Force. He was in charge of the Lunar Defense Station during the Proxima incident. The meteor shower that changed course. Eliza asked, recognition dawning. I remember that. Official explanation was a calculation error. No error, Gronk said. Tucker has the original tracking data. He believes Earth's magnetic field purposely redirected those meteors. Jack raised an eyebrow. And he's still employed by the Defense Force. Officially he recanted his theory, Gronk explained. Unofficially, he's been gathering evidence ever since. He's stationed at Olympus Mons Defense Base. Not far from here. Then that's our next stop, Jack decided. Thank you, Gronk. As they stood to leave, the Tellurian grabbed Jack's arm with one of his upper limbs. Commander, be careful. The last beings who tried to prove Earth was sentient disappeared. All of them. You mean the Krellvarians? Eliza asked. Gronk's compound eyes widened. You know about the Krellvarians. Then you know how their story ended. They vanished, Jack confirmed. Not vanished, Gronk corrected, his voice dropping to a whisper. Consumed. They tried to wake Earth forcibly. Earth didn't appreciate it. As they left the bar and stepped into the thin Martian atmosphere, Eliza looked up at the tiny blue dot in the sky that was Earth. You know, she said thoughtfully. For a supposedly sleeping planet, Earth has quite the reputation for holding grudges. If it is sentient, Jack replied. Let's hope it doesn't hold one against curious humans. VIKI's voice emerged from Jack's communicator. Commander, I've located Captain Tucker. He's scheduled to be off duty in 3 hours. Perfect, Jack said. That gives us just enough time to reach Olympus Mons and formulate a plan that doesn't involve us getting labeled as lunatics. Too late for that, Eliza said with a grin. But at least we're lunatics with academic credentials. The relentless curiosity lifted off from the Martian surface, heading toward Olympus Mons and the next piece of the puzzle. Behind them, Earth continued its silent orbit around the Sun, revealing nothing of its secrets, at least for now. Captain Dex Tucker looked exactly like what Jack expected from an Earth Defense Force officer. Ramrod straight posture, precisely trimmed hair, and an expression that suggested he calculated the optimal frown-to-scowl ratio each morning. "Let me get this straight," Tucker said, sitting across from them in a secluded corner of the Olympus Mons officers' lounge. "You two believe Earth is sentient because some extinct aliens left warnings, and a four-armed bartender with a conspiracy blog confirmed it. When you put it that way, it does sound ridiculous," Jack admitted. "It sounds beyond ridiculous," Tucker snapped. "It sounds like the kind of thing that ends careers. Like it almost ended mine." Eliza leaned forward. "Captain Tucker, we know about the Proxima incident. We know the official explanation was a calculation error. Was it?" Tucker's eyes narrowed. He glanced around the lounge before pulling out a small device and placing it on the table. A privacy bubble shimmered into existence around them. 3 years ago, he began, his voice low, a cluster of meteors from the Proxima Centauri system entered our solar system. Trajectory calculations showed they would impact Earth with force equivalent to 50 Tunguska events. A planet killer. But they didn't hit, Jack prompted. "No," Tucker confirmed. 48 hours before impact, Earth's magnetic field experienced what scientists called a spontaneous reorganization. The meteors were deflected. Perfectly. Not one struck the planet.
"Natural phenomena can explain that," Eliza suggested, playing devil's advocate. Tucker's laugh was hollow. "That's what I said in my official report, but this is what I didn't include." He activated a holographic display showing Earth from the Lunar Defense Station's perspective. The playback showed the meteor cluster approaching, then Earth's magnetic field visibly pulsing, sending out targeted waves that intercepted each meteor with precision. "That's not random," Tucker said flatly. "That's targeted defense." Jack whistled low. "Have you shown this to anyone else?" "My superior officer," Tucker replied. 2 days later she was transferred to Pluto Outpost. "I got the message, keep quiet or freeze my ass off on the edge of the solar system. But you kept investigating anyway." Eliza guessed. Tucker nodded. "I've compiled a database of similar incidents. Selective magnetic field variations, tectonic adjustments that prevented catastrophic earthquakes, weather systems that inexplicably reorganized before they could cause maximum damage." "VIKI," Jack called. "Access Captain Tucker's database and cross-reference with our findings." "Processing," the AI responded. "Correlation is significant. 87% of Captain Tucker's observations align with the patterns identified in the Krell-Varian warnings." Tucker's eyes widened. "You have Krell-Varian data. Those are just legends." "Not legends," Eliza corrected. "We found their warning beacon. They tried to wake Earth forcibly. It didn't end well for them." Tucker sat back, processing this. "So Earth is not only sentient but potentially dangerous when provoked." "That seems to be the case," Jack confirmed. "But why hide?" Tucker asked. "Why pretend to be just a planet?" "Maybe for the same reason you keep a low profile around superior officers," Eliza suggested. "Self-preservation." "Or maybe," Jack added, "it's protecting us. Humanity evolved believing we're the dominant species on a non-sentient rock. How would we develop if we knew we were essentially living in the palm of a cosmic being that could snuff us out at any moment?" Tucker rubbed his face. "So what now? We have evidence but no proof. No smoking gun." "Actually," VIKI interjected, "I may have found something resembling a smoking gun." "Explain," Jack prompted. "I've been analyzing Captain Tucker's data alongside historical astronomical observations. There's a pattern to Earth's defensive actions. They're triggered by specific conditions. Specifically when the potential casualty rate exceeds 37.8% of the human population. That can't be coincidence." Eliza breathed. "It's not," VIKI confirmed. "Furthermore, I've detected unusual energy patterns emanating from Earth's core. They appear to correlate with major threat events. The pattern is consistent with what we might consider decision-making." Tucker paled. "You're saying Earth's core is its brain, more like its consciousness," VIKI clarified. Based on these readings, Earth appears to maintain constant awareness but only takes action when humanity faces extinction-level threats. A protective parent, Eliza mused, letting the children make mistakes but stepping in before they can fatally harm themselves. That's oddly comforting and terrifying at the same time, Jack said. There's more, VIKI continued. I've analyzed the ancient warnings against the historical record. Each extinct civilization, the Krelvarians, the Zontari, all of them, attempted to colonize Earth before they disappeared. They didn't just discover Earth was sentient, Tucker realized. They tried to take it for themselves. And Earth defended itself, Jack concluded. The warnings weren't about Earth being dangerous. They were warnings not to attack it. A notification flashed on Tucker's wrist device. His expression transformed from contemplative to alarmed in an instant. What is it? Jack asked. Long-range sensors just detected a fleet entering the solar system, Tucker said. Already standing, non-human, heavily armed. They're on a direct course for Earth. VIKI, can you get a visual? Jack requested. The AI's holographic form flickered. Processing telemetry data now. The fleet consists of approximately 300 vessels of unknown configuration. Based on energy signatures, they appear to be collective warships. The collective? Eliza asked. I thought they were just interstellar traders. They're opportunists, Tucker corrected grimly. If they're coming in force, they've found something worth taking. Or something worth destroying, Jack added. VIKI, any communications from the fleet? They're broadcasting a message. VIKI confirmed. It's unusual. Let's hear it, Jack demanded. VIKI played the transmission. A harsh multi-toned voice filled the privacy bubble. We are the collective. We have decoded the ancient warnings. We know Earth's secret. The sleeping giant will be neutralized before it can awaken. Resistance is futile. The four of them exchanged glances of dawning horror. They're going to attack Earth, Tucker said. They think they can destroy it before it defends itself. Based on our findings, that would be a catastrophic miscalculation, Eliza noted. We need to warn them, Jack decided. Tucker, can you establish communication with their fleet? I can try, the captain replied. But why would they listen to us? Because we have something they don't, Jack said. The complete Krelvarian. We know exactly what happens when you attack Earth. It doesn't just defend itself, it retaliates. And if they don't believe us, Eliza asked. Jack's expression was grim. Then we get to test our theory about Earth's sentience firsthand. Tucker's communicator chimed again. Defense force is mobilizing, but our fleet is scattered throughout the system. We can't intercept before the collective reaches Earth orbit. How long until they arrive? Eliza asked. 6 hours, Tucker replied. Not enough time. Then we need to warn Earth directly, Jack decided. Tucker stared at him. Warn a planet? How exactly do you propose we do that? The same way the Krelvarians tried to communicate with it, Jack replied. Through the core. The Krelvarians disappeared after that attempt, Eliza reminded him. They tried to wake Earth by force, Jack countered. We're just going to knock politely and say there's danger coming. And if Earth doesn't answer? Tucker asked. Jack looked through the viewport at the distant blue marble hanging in space. Then humanity better hope those extinct civilizations were wrong about Earth only pretending to sleep. As alarms began blaring throughout the Olympus Mons base, the four unlikely allies raced toward the relentless curiosity. Their destination, Earth's core, and possibly its consciousness. Behind them the collective fleet accelerated, weapons primed to attack a planet they believed was merely pretending to be ordinary. They were about to discover just how extraordinary Earth truly was. This is without a doubt the stupidest plan I've ever been a part of, Captain Tucker declared as the relentless curiosity rocketed toward Earth's North Pole. And I once participated in a training exercise involving space sharks and laser harpoons. Noted and ignored, Jack replied. Hands flying across the ship's controls. VIKI. Status update on the collective fleet. They've entered Mars orbit, the AI reported. Based on their current trajectory, they'll reach Earth in approximately 4 hours and 23 minutes. And our ETA? Eliza asked, strapping herself into the co-pilot's seat. 17 minutes to the Polar Research Station, VIKI confirmed. Whether they'll let us use their core drilling platform is another question entirely. Tucker snorted. They're scientists. Tell them we're going to communicate with a sentient planet, and they'll either help enthusiastically, or have us committed to the nearest psychiatric facility. That's why we're not telling them. Jack grinned. You're going to use your Defense Force authority to commandeer their facility for urgent security purposes. Abuse of power, Tucker muttered. Add it to my growing list of court-martial offenses. Only if we fail, Eliza pointed out. If we succeed, you'll be the man who saved Earth from an alien invasion. They tend to overlook procedural violations in those cases. The Polar Research Station grew larger in the view screen. A sprawling complex of white domes and research towers perched on the Arctic ice. As they approached, Jack couldn't help but marvel at the absurdity of their situation. Here they were racing to warn a possibly sentient planet that it was about to be attacked, using equipment designed to study that planet's interior. Subfurious, if Earth is conscious, he wondered aloud, would it consider core drilling the equivalent of a colonoscopy? Eliza shot him a look. Let's avoid medical analogies when trying to communicate with the cosmic being we're standing on, shall we? Tucker's credentials got them access to the facility with minimal questions, though the research director's expression suggested she knew something unusual was happening. The core drilling platform, a massive chamber housing equipment designed to send probes and sensors deep into Earth's mantle, was momentarily unoccupied. Convenient, Eliza remarked as they entered the control room. Too convenient, Jack asked. Let's not look a gift horse in the mouth, Tucker replied, activating the systems. VIKI. Upload your communication package to the main probe. Uploading, the AI confirmed. Package includes greetings in all known languages, warning about the collective fleet, and data from the Krell variant, showing what happened during their attempted colonization. How exactly is Earth supposed to read this information? Tucker asked skeptically.
The Krell believed Earth's consciousness interfaces with its electromagnetic field, Eliza explained. Our probe will emit specific electromagnetic pulses along with the data package. If Earth is sentient and if the Krell were right about its communication methods, it might recognize the attempt. That's a lot of ifs, Tucker noted. Welcome to xenarchaeology, Eliza replied with a wry smile, where best guesses and wild theories occasionally save the universe. Probe ready for launch, VIKI announced. Calculating optimal insertion point for maximum field propagation. Jack took a deep breath. Let's do this. Launch when ready. The platform hummed to life as the probe, cylindrical, heavily shielded, and loaded with their warning message, descended into the drilling shaft. Displays showed its progress as it passed through the outer crust and into the upper mantle. Approaching maximum safe depth, VIKI reported. Initiating transmission sequence. On the monitors they watched as the probe began pulsing with electromagnetic energy, broadcasting their warning into the molten heart of the planet. Now we wait, Jack said quietly. For how long? Tucker asked. If Earth is conscious, Eliza replied, and if it perceives time as we do, we should expect. The entire facility shuddered violently, cutting her off mid-sentence. Alarm klaxons blared as equipment rattled and screens flickered. Earthquake, Tucker suggested, grabbing a console for support. No, VIKI answered, her holographic form stabilizing. Highly localized seismic activity centered precisely at the probe's location. This is a response. It heard us, Eliza whispered, eyes wide. Another tremor, stronger this time, rocked the facility. The screens displaying the probe's telemetry suddenly filled with rapidly scrolling data, measurements of magnetic field fluctuations, core temperature variations, and something else entirely. VIKI, what are we seeing? Jack demanded. I believe, the AI said slowly, Earth is communicating back. Can you interpret it? Eliza asked eagerly. Processing, VIKI replied. It appears to be a complex frequency pattern, similar to brain waves. But on a planetary scale, the screen suddenly cleared, displaying a simple message in pulsing light. Aware, is that, Tucker began. Earth, Jack confirmed, a mixture of awe and terror in his voice. It's telling us it knows about the threat. The message changed, it knows about the threat. The message changed, not first attempt. It's seen this before, Eliza translated unnecessarily. The Krell variants, ask it what it intends to do, Tucker suggested urgently. The collective fleet will be here in less than 4 hours. VIKI transmitted the question. The response came immediately. Observe. Observe. Tucker repeated incredulously. They're coming to attack with 300 warships and it just wants to watch. Another message appeared. They must choose. I think, Eliza said slowly, Earth is giving them a chance to reconsider, to make a different choice than the Krellvarians did. And if they don't? Jack asked. Before anyone could respond, VIKI's hologram flickered urgently. Commander, the collective fleet has changed course. They're accelerating. New ETA to Earth orbit 57 minutes. What? Tucker exclaimed. That's impossible. Their engines couldn't. They've activated some kind of drive we haven't seen before, VIKI explained. Energy signatures are off the charts. The message on the screen changed again. They have chosen. The facility rocked with another tremor, more powerful than before. Equipment crashed to the floor as cracks appeared in the ceiling. We need to evacuate, Tucker shouted over the noise. Now, wait, Eliza cried, pointing to the screen where a final message pulsed. Witness. As they stumbled from the collapsing facility toward the relentless Curiosity, the sky above the polar ice began to change. What had been clear blue was now rippling with curtains of energy, like the aurora borealis but 1,000 times more intense. VIKI, what's happening to Earth's magnetic field? Jack asked as they boarded the ship. It's reconfiguring, the AI replied, sounding almost stunned. The entire planetary electromagnetic field is reorganizing itself into a new pattern. I've never seen anything like it. Get us to orbit, Jack ordered, sliding into the pilot's seat. I want to see this firsthand. The relentless Curiosity rocketed upward through the atmospheric light show, breaking free into the clarity of low Earth orbit. What they saw there left them speechless. Earth's entire magnetic field was visible now, a vast shimmering bubble of energy surrounding the planet. And at the edge of the solar system, the approaching collective fleet was about to make contact with it. They have no idea what they're flying into, Tucker breathed. Oh, I think they do, Eliza countered. That's why they're accelerating. They're trying to overwhelm Earth's defenses with speed and numbers. Will it work? Jack asked. VIKI's holographic form appeared between them. Based on the Krellvarian records, no, the Krellvarians had twice as many ships and more advanced technology. So Earth will destroy them all? Tucker asked. Not necessarily, Eliza replied, studying the sensor readings. Earth gave them a choice. It's letting them make the first move. They watched in tense silence as the leading edge of the collective fleet reached the boundary of Earth's expanded magnetic field. The first ships hesitated visibly, perhaps sensing the energy barrier before them. Then, as if receiving new orders, they powered up their weapons. They're going to fire, Tucker warned. They're making their choice, Jack corrected grimly. The lead ship fired, a blinding pulse of energy that streaked toward Earth's protective bubble. The moment it made contact, everything changed. Earth's magnetic field pulsed once, twice, then erupted in a dazzling display of power. Tendrils of energy reached out like vast tentacles, wrapping around the first wave of collective ships. There was no explosion, no dramatic destruction. The ships simply stopped. Their lights flickered and died as they hung motionless in space. What happened to them? Tucker asked. Earth neutralized their power systems, VIKI explained, analyzing the data. They're intact but completely disabled. The second wave of ships, witnessing the fate of their vanguard, split formation, half turning to retreat, half pressing the attack with even greater ferocity. Those that fled were allowed to go unmolested. Those that attacked met a different fate. Earth's response escalated. The magnetic field contracted suddenly, then expanded in a massive pulse that engulfed the attacking ships. When it receded, the ships remained, but altered. Their hulls were intact but somehow transformed, their metal surfaces now covered in what appeared to be rapidly growing crystal formations. It's terraforming them, Eliza realized, her scientific mind racing to comprehend what she was seeing. Earth is converting their hulls into something organic. But why? Jack wondered. The answer came as the crystalline formations began to glow with the same energy as Earth's magnetic field. The ships, now luminous with borrowed planetary power, began to move again, but not under their own control. Like puppets on electromagnetic strings, they turned and joined the defensive perimeter. It's not destroying them,
Tucker said in awe. It's recruiting them. The remaining collective ships, faced with the sight of their comrades transformed into Earth's defenders, broke formation and fled, accelerating back toward the outer system. Earth's magnetic field gradually returned to its normal configuration, though the crystalline ships remained in orbit, now part of the planet's defensive system. Earth didn't just defend itself, Eliza said quietly. It demonstrated the futility of the attack while minimizing casualties. That's not just sentience, that's wisdom. The control panel chimed as a message appeared on their screen, not from VIKI, but from the planet below. 5 simple words: I only pretend to sleep. Jack laughed, the tension of the past hours finally breaking. All those extinct civilizations left warnings about Earth pretending to sleep. None of them mentioned it has a sense of humor or a flair for the dramatic, Tucker added, watching the crystalline ships glittering in Earth's orbit. What happens now? Eliza asked. Earth has revealed itself, everything changes. Not necessarily, Jack replied thoughtfully. Most humans wouldn't believe this even if we told them. They'd call it a natural phenomenon, a cosmic coincidence, just like they've been doing for thousands of years, Eliza realized. Earth doesn't need to hide, because we're programmed to explain away its actions. As if confirming their theory, news reports were already beginning to come in, describing a unique solar flare interaction, an experimental defense technology to explain what had happened. Humanity isn't ready to know, Tucker concluded, and Earth understands that. The crystalline ships in orbit began to descend slowly into the atmosphere, vanishing one by one into the planet below, being absorbed, or perhaps recycled by the entity they had tried to attack. Commander, VIKI reported. I'm detecting a message from Earth Defense Force Command. They're requesting Captain Tucker's presence for debriefing regarding the successful test of the new planetary shield system. Tucker groaned. Great, now I have to explain how I helped test a defense system I didn't know existed.
Look on the bright side, Jack grinned. You're not being court-martialed. Yet, Tucker replied dryly. As the relentless curiosity turned back toward the planet, Eliza remained at the viewport, gazing thoughtfully at the blue and green world below. Something on your mind, Doctor? Jack asked. Just wondering, she replied. If Earth has been awake and watching all this time, what other planets might be doing the same? Are we living in a galaxy of sleeping giants? Jack considered this for a moment. If we are, let's hope they're all as benevolent as our own. Below them, Earth continued its seemingly ordinary rotation around its star, a planet that appeared in every way to be simply following the laws of physics. But now they knew better. Earth wasn't just a world, it was watching, it was protecting, and it was only pretending to sleep. 3 weeks after the collective incident, Jack found himself in a quiet seaside cafe in New Zealand, nursing a cup of coffee and watching the Pacific Ocean lap against the shore. The events in Earth orbit had been successfully rewritten in public consciousness as a routine defense exercise combined with an unusual solar phenomenon. Humanity continued its daily business, blissfully unaware they lived on a sentient cosmic entity. Mind if I join you? Eliza asked, appearing beside his table with her own steaming mug. Please, Jack gestured to the empty chair. I was beginning to think our debrief and sign 50 different non-disclosure agreements meeting was the last I'd see of you. Almost was, she admitted, sitting down. The Xenoarchaeological Institute suddenly has a pressing need for my expertise on a dig site in the Andromeda sector. Very convenient timing. They're splitting us up, Jack nodded. Tucker's been promoted to oversee a new defense installation on Europa, and VIKI has been temporarily decommissioned for routine maintenance, Eliza finished. They're trying to contain what we know. Can you blame them? Jack asked, gazing out at the ocean. What would happen if humanity learned the truth, that we're essentially bacteria living on a god? I think we'd adapt, Eliza replied. Humans are remarkably good at normalizing the extraordinary. In a month people would be back to complaining about traffic and weather, just with the occasional prayer to the ground beneath their feet. They sat in comfortable silence for a moment, watching the waves. Have you felt it? Eliza finally asked, her voice low. Since that day, Jack didn't need to ask what she meant. Yes, little things, moments where gravity seems to shift slightly when I'm about to fall, weather changing just as I wish it would. Could be coincidence, but it's not, Eliza smiled. It's paying attention to us now. The 3 humans who knocked on its door and said hello. Jack's communicator chimed,
A message from Tucker, classified satellite data shows the crystalline ships have been fully absorbed into Earth's crust. No trace remains. Also, my new office has a great view of Jupiter. Wish you were here, space cowboy. At least Tucker's enjoying his promotion. Jack chuckled, showing the message to Eliza. And what about you? She asked. Where is the illustrious Commander Ridley off to next? Jack shrugged. They've offered me a desk job at Solar System Command. Safe, secure and thoroughly boring. You're not taking it, Eliza stated rather than asked. Got the relentless curiosity fueled and ready to go. Jack confirmed with a grin. There's a whole galaxy of potentially sentient planets out there. Someone should check on them. Someone with experience in cosmic communication, Eliza mused. You know my Andromeda assignment doesn't start for another 3 weeks. Is that an application for temporary science officer? Jack asked, raising an eyebrow. More like a demand to be co-captain, Eliza countered. Before Jack could reply, the ground beneath them trembled, just slightly, barely enough to ripple the coffee in their mugs. To anyone else, it would have been dismissed as a minor seismic event, one of thousands that occurred daily around the Pacific Rim. But Jack and Eliza exchanged knowing glances. This wasn't a random geological occurrence. It was a goodbye, or perhaps a good luck. I think we just got Earth's blessing, Jack said quietly. Either that or it's telling us not to let the door hit us on the way out, Eliza replied with a smirk. Jack raised his mug in a toast to the ground beneath them. To Earth, the only planet known to evict unwanted guests while adopting the interesting ones. And to humanity, Eliza added, clinking her mug against his, blissfully unaware they've been living in the palm of a sleeping giant all along. Who only pretends to sleep, Jack finished. Above them, clouds parted momentarily, allowing a perfect sunbeam to illuminate their table. Just a coincidence, most would say. A random play of light and shadow in an indifferent world governed by physics. But Jack and Eliza knew better. They'd seen behind the curtain. Earth wasn't just watching, it was winking at them. As they walked toward the spaceport where the relentless curiosity waited, neither looked back at the planet that had been humanity's cradle and protector. They didn't need to. Earth would be there when they returned, spinning in seeming silence around its star, harboring life, deflecting dangers, and pretending, quite convincingly, to be nothing more than a beautiful blue marble in space, until of course someone made the mistake of threatening it. Then, as the collective had learned, Earth would remind the cosmos why every dead race left one warning. Earth only pretends to sleep, and sometimes, just sometimes, it opens one eye. Every dead race left one warning. Earth only pretends to sleep. Vertical bar, HFY vertical bar Sci-Fi. Universe.